The message arrived on a Tuesday. Commander Tess Rodriguez was halfway through her coffee when the alert blared across the United Earth Defense Force headquarters. Not the best timing, it was the good coffee, the stuff they saved for after successful missions, not the military-grade sludge they served in the mess. "Commander, you need to see this," Lieutenant Park's voice cracked as he burst through the door, tablet in hand. Tess sighed and set down her mug. "This better be good, Park. I just opened the Guatemalan blend. It's a transmission. From about 12 light-years away." Now that got her attention. Humanity had made contact with other civilizations about 30 years back, but interstellar messages were still rare enough to qualify as headline news. On screen, she ordered, nodding toward the wall monitor. The image flickered to life, revealing a being that looked like the unfortunate offspring of a squid and a chandelier. Its numerous appendages waved frantically as it spoke, the translator working overtime. "People of Earth." The alien's voice boomed through the speakers. "I am Grand Admiral Zelthrix of the Galactic Alliance. We face extinction at the hands of the Void Horde. Our weapons fail. Our shields crumble. Our greatest warriors fall. We have heard tales of Earth's unique defense capabilities. We beg for your assistance." Tess frowned. "Unique defense capabilities? We're barely a footnote in galactic politics." "There's more," Park said, tapping the screen. The alien's voice lowered to what Tess assumed was their version of a whisper. "Our intelligence suggests that Earth harbors warriors of unimaginable patience and psychological fortitude. Those who can withstand the most difficult of interactions." 12 hours later, Tess found herself in the Planetary Defense Council chamber, surrounded by Earth's highest-ranking officials. The debate had been raging for hours. "We're talking about potentially sending humans into an interstellar war," General Martinez growled. "Based on some squid's cryptic message about our special abilities. This has to be a trap." "With all due respect, General," Tess countered, "the Galactic Alliance has been nothing but peaceful in our dealings with them. If they're desperate enough to ask Earth for help, a planet they normally treat like the galactic equivalent of a quaint country bed and breakfast, then something serious is happening out there." The Secretary General nodded slowly. "Commander Rodriguez is right. But what exactly do they think we have? Our military technology is centuries behind most Alliance species." A thin smile spread across Tess's face. "I think I know exactly what they're asking for. And God help the universe, we're going to give it to them." The Secretary General raised an eyebrow. "You don't mean?" "Yes," Tess said solemnly. "It's time to deploy the weapon." The facility wasn't what most people would expect. No underground bunker. No high-tech security system. Just a nondescript office building in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with beige carpeting and fluorescent lights that flickered just enough to give you a headache by 2 p.m. Doug Hoffman adjusted his tie as he walked through the front doors. 15 years as the facility's administrative manager had taught him one thing: routine was sacred. Every morning, badge in, coffee poured, into his world's okayest manager mug, computer on, spreadsheets open. Predictable. Safe. Boring. Today, the lobby was filled with military personnel. "Mr. Hoffman?" A woman in a commander's uniform approached him. "I'm Commander Rodriguez. We need to activate Protocol Omega." Doug dropped his mug. The coffee spread across the linoleum like arterial spray at a crime scene. "But that's just a joke in the employee handbook," he stammered. "Right between the policy about not microwaving fish and the one about casual Fridays." Commander Rodriguez's expression didn't change. "Mr. Hoffman, I assure you Protocol Omega is very real. The authorization comes directly from the Secretary General." Doug's mind raced. The training, the simulations, the mysterious monthly budget allocation labeled Cosmic Karen contingency. It had all been real. How many do you need? He asked, voice barely above a whisper. All of them. 20 minutes later, Doug stood at the front of the company's largest conference room. Behind him, Commander Rodriguez waited patiently as the room filled with employees from the building's third floor. "Good morning, team," Doug began, his voice unusually serious. "I know you're wondering why I've called you all here." The truth is, he took a deep breath. Everything you've been training for is real. The galaxy needs your help. The room erupted in murmurs. These weren't soldiers or scientists. They were customer service representatives. The best of the best. People who could be screamed at for hours and respond with, "I understand your frustration and I'd be happy to help resolve this issue." "Settle down, everyone," called out Marge Winters, the 58-year-old team lead who'd been handling complaint calls since the dial-up era. "Let the man speak." "Thank you, Marge," Doug nodded. "Commander Rodriguez here represents the United Earth Defense Force. She'll explain the situation." Tess stepped forward, surveying the room. These were Earth's secret weapons? They looked like normal people. Middle-aged folks in business casual attire. Some young graduates with student loan debt in their eyes. A few nearing retirement who'd seen it all. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, "an alien civilization is being decimated by an aggressive force known as the Void Horde. They've specifically requested Earth's assistance because they've heard about your unique abilities." "Is this about the time I talked down that guy who wanted to return a 3-year-old lawnmower without a receipt?" asked Tom Bailey, adjusting his glasses. "In a manner of speaking, yes," Tess replied. "The Void Horde is, according to our intelligence, immune to conventional weapons. But they've never encountered psychological resistance like what you provide every day. So you want us to, what? Customer service an alien invasion into submission?" asked Denise Wong, the department's top performer 4 years running. "Precisely," Tess nodded. "You'll be equipped with modified headsets and trained on alien cultural norms, but otherwise, you'll be doing exactly what you do every day, handling difficult entities with unflappable calm and thinly veiled passive aggression." The room fell silent as the customer service representatives processed this information. Then, slowly, Marge stood up. "Well," she said, straightening her cardigan, "I've been dealing with people who think the world revolves around them for 37 years. Might as well try my hand at beings who think the galaxy does too." One by one, the others nodded in agreement. Earth's most resilient humans were ready for deployment. The United Earth Defense Force's newest vessel, the U.S. Complaint Department, was hardly the sleekest ship in the fleet. It had been hastily retrofitted to accommodate its unusual crew, with standard military quarters transformed into something resembling a call center break room. There were vending machines, uncomfortable chairs, and motivational posters reading "Hang in there" featuring cats in spacesuits. The 40-member customer service corps settled in for the journey, each handling the news of their interstellar mission differently. Some were excitedly learning alien customs from the ship's database. Others were stress-eating vending machine snacks. Tom Bailey had already complained about the lack of decent coffee. "Attention all personnel," Commander Rodriguez's voice came over the intercom. "Our liaison from the Galactic Alliance will be boarding momentarily. Please assemble in the main hangar." The CS Corps gathered as instructed, just in time to witness the arrival of their alien contact. The shuttle doors opened, revealing a tall, slender being with iridescent skin and 4 arms, wearing what appeared to be the alien equivalent of a 3-piece suit. "I am Diplomatic Envoy Xril Tox," the alien announced, bowing slightly. "I've been assigned to facilitate this unusual arrangement." Xril Tox surveyed the assembled humans with what could only be described as skepticism, even on an alien face. "These are your elite warriors?" the diplomat asked Commander Rodriguez. "They look more suited to discussing warranty extensions than battling the Void Horde." "That's precisely the point," Tess replied calmly. "The Void Horde expects warriors. We're sending something much worse. We're ready to begin training, Marge announced, stepping forward. Our people need to understand what we're up against. Over the next 3 days, as the ship hurtled through space toward the front lines, the CS Corps underwent intensive preparation. Real talks provided recordings of Void Horde interactions, which the team analyzed with the same scrutiny they'd use for difficult customer calls. Notice how they repeat their demands without listening to responses, Denise pointed out during one session. It's classic difficult customer behavior. We need to use active listening techniques and controlled redirection. And look at that body language, Tom added. They're trying to intimidate through size and volume. We can counter with unflinching politeness. Real Talks watched these sessions with growing amazement. Your species has developed techniques to counter psychological aggression that our finest minds never considered, the diplomat admitted to Commander Rodriguez. Perhaps there is hope after all. They've been training their whole careers for this, Tess replied. Some of them have dealt with Black Friday shoppers. The Void Horde may actually be easier. As they approached the Alliance headquarters, a massive space station orbiting a neutral planet, the atmosphere on the ship grew tense. Through the viewports, they could see the evidence of recent battles, damaged ships, debris fields, and the constant flash of distant weapons fire. We're entering a hot zone, Lieutenant Park announced over the comms. All non-essential personnel to secure stations. That's our cue, Marge told her team, adjusting her newly issued space-appropriate cardigan. Remember your training. Remember that customer who wanted to use 17 expired coupons at once. You've faced worse than this. As the U.S. Complaint Department docked at the Alliance station, the CS Corps gathered their equipment, specially designed headsets, tablets loaded with conflict resolution scripts, and emergency stashes of stress balls. The station's commander, a reptilian being with elaborate cranial ridges, greeted them with obvious desperation in his 6 eyes. The Void Horde approaches, he hissed urgently. Our last defensive line is failing. Whatever you Earth beings plan to do, you must do it quickly. Marge stepped forward, expression serene, headset already in place. Don't worry, she said, with the calm of someone who'd spent decades telling people that yes, they did need to speak to a manager, and yes, she would connect them right away. We'll handle this. The Alliance Command Center was a flurry of panicked activity. Aliens of various species rushed between stations, shouting in languages that the CS Corps hastily installed translation devices struggled to keep up with. Tactical displays showed a massive fleet approaching the Void Horde. They've breached our outer defenses, reported an officer who resembled a humanoid giraffe with too many eyes. Time to intercept, 7 minutes. Commander Rodriguez turned to the CS Corps, who were calmly setting up what looked suspiciously like a call center in the middle of the command center. Desks had been arranged in a semicircle, each equipped with a communications terminal and what appeared to be a cup of tea. Are your people ready, Mr. Hoffman? She asked. Doug nodded, though he looked slightly green around the gills. As ready as anyone can be to customer service an alien invasion into submission. The Alliance commander approached, mandibles clicking with anxiety. What exactly is your plan? The Void Horde will be in communication range momentarily. They always demand surrender before attacking. Perfect, Marge said, adjusting her headset. That's our opening. Route their transmission to us. The commander looked to Real Talks, who gave a four-armed shrug. Do as she says. Nothing else has worked. When the Void Horde's transmission came through, the command center's main screen filled with a terrifying sight. The being appeared to be composed entirely of darkness, with glowing red eyes and a mouth full of what could only be described as too many teeth. Sentient life forms of the Alliance, it boomed, voice like gravel in a garbage disposal. We are the Void Horde. Your existence offends us. Surrender now or... Thank you for contacting the Galactic Alliance, Marge interrupted, her voice pleasantly modulated in the way that only decades of customer service can achieve. My name is Marge. How may I assist you today? The void creature paused, clearly thrown off script. Its many eyes blinked in confusion. What is this? We demand your immediate. I understand you're experiencing some frustration with the continued existence of Alliance life forms, Marge continued smoothly. I'd be happy to address those concerns today. May I have your name and position for our records? The Alliance command staff watched in astonishment as the fearsome void being actually answered. I am Grand Destructor Vex Thar, Annihilator of. Thank you, Mr. Vex Thar. I appreciate your patience. Now, I see from our records that you've been attempting to annihilate the Alliance for some time. Could you help me understand what specific issues you're experiencing? As Marge continued her surreal customer service interaction with the bewildered Void commander, the other CS reps began intercepting communications from individual Void ships, each applying their specialized techniques. I completely understand your desire to eradicate all life, Denise was saying to another Void officer. Have you considered our alternative solutions package? I'd be happy to walk you through some options that might better meet your needs. Tom had adopted a slightly different approach. I hear what you're saying about wanting to consume our souls, and that's definitely something I want to help with. Unfortunately, soul consumption falls under our specialized services division. I'll need to transfer you to that department, which has a current wait time of approximately 47 years. Would you like to hold? The Void Horde ships, which had been advancing in an intimidating formation, now drifted aimlessly. On screen after screen, fearsome Void beings displayed something never before seen in their species, confusion. It's working, whispered X-Real Talks in amazement. They don't know how to respond to whatever this is. Commander Rodriguez nodded. They're used to inspiring fear and collecting quick surrenders. They've never had someone ask them to rate their annihilation experience on a scale of 1 to 10. After nearly an hour of this treatment, the Void fleet began to retreat. Grand Destructor Vex Thar looked positively rattled. We will reconsider our approach, he growled, before abruptly cutting the transmission. The command center erupted in cheers. Alliance officers embraced the CS Corps members, some weeping with relief. But Marge's expression remained serious as she turned to Commander Rodriguez. That was too easy, she said. In my experience, this is when they go get their manager. Marge's prediction proved distressingly accurate. Less than 12 hours after their apparent retreat, the Void Horde returned with reinforcements. They've brought 3 times as many ships, Lieutenant Park reported grimly. And look at that flagship. It's massive. The new Void vessel dwarfed everything in the area, including the Alliance station itself. Its hull seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, creating a ship-shaped hole in space. Incoming transmission, called out an Alliance officer, antennae quivering with fear. The screen flickered to life, revealing a Void being unlike any they'd seen before. Where the others had been merely terrifying, this one was existentially disturbing. Its form shifted constantly, as if reality itself couldn't quite decide how to render such a being. I am Sovereign Nullifier Eth Raxia. The being's voice resonated at a frequency that made everyone's teeth hurt. Your pathetic delay tactics have failed. I have reviewed your interactions with my subordinates and found them lacking. The CS Corps exchanged glances. This was exactly what they'd trained for the customer who'd already blown past 3 representatives and was now demanding the highest authority. Prepare for B. Thank you for your patience, Sovereign Nullifier, Marge interrupted, cool as ever. I understand you're following up on a previous interaction. I'd be happy to assist you today. Your psychological manipulations are ineffective against me, Etraxia boomed. I have consumed civilizations that begged for mercy in 10,000 languages. Your politeness cannot save you. For the first time, the CS Corps seemed shaken. The Void Sovereign wasn't following the script. It wasn't getting flustered or confused by their techniques. "We need to escalate," Marge whispered to Commander Rodriguez. "It's time to bring in the manager." Rodriguez nodded grimly and pressed her communicator. "Janice, you're up." From the back of the command center emerged a woman who hadn't been introduced with the rest of the CS Corps. She wore a sensible pantsuit and reading glasses on a chain. Her gray hair was cut in the most practical bob imaginable. Her expression suggested she'd seen things that would make hardened soldiers weep. "Monza." "Janice from accounting," Doug whispered to Xreal Talks. 27 years handling escalated complaints. Legend has it, she once made the CEO of a Fortune 500 company cry and then apologized to her. Janice took the central communication station, adjusted her glasses, and looked directly at the terrifying visage of Sovereign Nullifier Ethraxia. "This is Janice Blackwood, Senior Resolution Specialist," she said, her voice carrying the weight of countless customer confrontations. "I understand there's been some dissatisfaction with our earlier service. Your worlds will burn. Your species will be forgotten. Your... more... I'm going to stop you right there," Janice said, holding up one finger. Not shouting, not angry, just firmly disappointed. "I've reviewed the transcript of your previous interaction and I noticed several areas of concern in your approach." The Void Sovereign actually paused. "First," Janice continued, pulling out a tablet, "your threats lack specificity. Your worlds will burn doesn't give us actionable information." "Which worlds? On what timeline? Have you filed the proper paperwork for interstellar annihilation?" "Paperwork? We are the Void Horde. We." "Second," Janice pressed on, "your tone is unnecessarily aggressive. Studies show that cooperative approaches yield 73% more efficient results in interspecies conflicts. I've taken the liberty of preparing some alternative phrases you might consider." She began reading from her tablet. "Instead of 'your species will be forgotten,' perhaps try 'we have concerns about your continued existence.'" The command center watched in amazement as the fearsome Void Sovereign seemed to shrink back from the screen. "Third, Miord," Janice said, removing her glasses for maximum effect, "and most importantly, I noticed that you've attempted this same approach with 17 other galactic civilizations in the past cycle alone, with diminishing returns each time. Have you considered that the problem might not be with everyone else in the universe? Perhaps it's time for some internal reflection." The Sovereign Nullifier's many eyes widened. Its form flickered uncertainly. That is not." "I understand this feedback may be difficult to hear," Janice said, somehow managing to sound both sympathetic and utterly immovable. "But growth begins with acknowledgement. Now, shall we discuss some mutually beneficial alternatives to universal destruction, or would you prefer I escalate this matter to our Interstellar Relations Department?" The entire command center held its breath. "There is no need for further escalation," the Sovereign Nullifier said, its voice noticeably quieter. "We will consider your feedback." "Excellent," Janice replied with a professional smile that had weathered 1,000 customer storms. "I've prepared a satisfaction survey regarding our interaction today. Your input is valuable to us." As the massive Void flagship began to retreat, followed by its entire fleet, the Alliance Command Center erupted in celebration. Aliens of all species embraced the Earth representatives, their translator devices struggling to keep up with the multilingual expressions of gratitude. "I don't understand," Xreal Talks said, shaking his four-handed head in amazement. "The Void Horde has never retreated from anyone. What did you do to them?" "Customer service's ultimate weapon," Marge explained. "We made them self-conscious about their approach. Nothing defeats aggression faster than making someone question if they're being unreasonable. That, and Janice has a way of making anyone feel like they're disappointing their mother," Doug added. Janice herself was already filling out paperwork, standard post-interaction documentation, she explained when Commander Rodriguez raised an eyebrow. Always keep records. You never know when they'll call back. 2 weeks later, the U.S. Complaint Department was docked at Earth's orbital station. The Great Hall of Humanity was filled to capacity as representatives from across the Galactic Alliance gathered to honor Earth's unusual heroes. Grand Admiral Zelthrix, the squid chandelier hybrid who had first contacted Earth, stood at the podium. For centuries, the galaxy feared the Void Horde. The Admiral's voice boomed. Their ships were invulnerable to our weapons. Their minds were immune to our psychic attacks. But they were not prepared for Earth's customer service representatives. The hall erupted in applause as the CS Corps, now dressed in specially designed uniforms, with comfortable shoes and pockets for stress balls, took the stage. In recognition of Earth's unique contribution to galactic peace, Zelthrix continued, we formally invite humanity to join the Galactic Alliance's full members, with a special designation as the Alliance's Conflict Resolution Corps. Commander Rodriguez accepted the honor on behalf of Earth, barely concealing her amusement at how quickly humanity had gone from galactic nobodies to essential peacekeepers. We're happy to help, she said diplomatically. Earth has spent centuries perfecting the art of dealing with difficult entities. We're pleased to find our skills have universal applications. As the ceremony concluded, Janice approached the commander with a rare smile. You know what this means, don't you? What's that, Miss Blackwood? Intergalactic HR policies, Janice said, eyes gleaming with bureaucratic delight. Someone's going to have to standardize complaint procedures across species. Think of the forms, the protocols, the training materials. Commander Rodriguez laughed. I'll make sure you're put in charge of the project. 6 months later, a new division of the Galactic Alliance had been established. The Customer Service Corps had expanded, recruiting from Earth's vast pool of call center veterans, retail workers, and technical support specialists. Their headquarters, a space station shaped suspiciously like a headset, orbited Earth as a constant reminder of humanity's most formidable weapon. Across the galaxy, would-be conquerors and aggressive species found themselves confronted not with battleships, but with pleasant voices asking them to please hold while their conquest request was transferred to the appropriate department. Conflict resolution rates soared. Customer satisfaction surveys, now mandatory following any attempted invasion, showed marked improvement. And somewhere in the vast emptiness between stars, the Void Horde was rumored to be undergoing sensitivity training. Earth had finally found its place in the galaxy. Not as warriors or diplomats or scientists, but as something far more terrifying. People who would kill you with kindness while systematically dismantling your will to fight through sheer, unflappable pleasantness. The universe would never be the same.